Hello, and a very warm welcome to Kitchen Witch. This is the Forest of Oak, which is lesson 1 and the introduction. Welcome to our school. It is lovely to have you here with us. There are 21 lessons within the first section, which is called the Forest of Oak, including this introduction. Each one has text with a subject matter, followed by a series of questions, and sometimes there are practical exercises too. You will also find links to blog posts and video talks for most of the lessons as well. Homework for each lesson should be emailed to your mentor. That is either Ness, myself, or Heather. And our email address is support@kitchenwitchhearth.net. Once you have passed a lesson, your next one will be emailed to you. The second section of our school is called the Forest of Ash. Again, that has 21 lessons. It is entirely up to you whether you wish to continue on to study this section once you have finished the first one. And then, if you wish to go even further, we have the third section, which is the Forest of Hawthorn. Again, it is entirely up to you whether you continue on to this as well. On completion of the Forest of Oak, you will be presented with a certificate and the title Priest or Priestess of the Oak. On completion of the Forest of Ash, you will be presented with a certificate and the title Priest or Priestess of the Ash. If you choose to go on to the Forest of Hawthorn, on completion, you will receive a certificate and again the title Priest or Priestess of the Hawthorn. We aim to return reviewed homework to you within 3 days, although it usually be quicker than that. If you've not heard after a week, then there has been a problem, so please do contact us. There is no time limit working through the lessons, but please take the time to work through the lessons properly and to digest the material. On average, the first section should take about a year to complete. It might take you a bit less time, it might take you a bit longer. There is no rule. We do suggest that a general time frame for each lesson should be 2 weeks. Some of the lessons include branch classes, where we take you on a deep dive into the subject. We are always available if you have any queries. Please email Rachel on hq@kitchenwitchhearth.net or Ness and Heather on support@kitchenwitchhearth.net. Never feel lost, alone, or confused. We are here to help. All you have to do is holler. What is a witch? And what is witchcraft? We all know the stereotype portrayed in films and cartoons: green skin, pointy nose, warts, big black pointy hat. And whilst some witches may have some of those, but maybe not the green skin, it is most definitely not what we are about. Witchcraft is a magical practice, but it is also sometimes thought of as a religion, a way of life. A witch is what you are, who you are, and what you do. It is a truly beautiful and rewarding way of living your life. Witchcraft is earth-based, meaning that it is based upon reverence for nature, respect for animals, and respect for our environment and those in it. It is a chosen path filled with self-discovery, learning, and growth, as those who claim the title of witch will grow in knowledge and experience for a lifetime and possibly more. Witchcraft is a generic term used to describe its many extensions and subcategories. There are no hard rules with witchcraft. You can tailor it to your personal beliefs, traditions, and rituals. Witches can be any gender. Occasionally, you might find someone calling themselves a wizard. That is by personal choice. You might also find on occasion someone calling themselves a warlock. Although that term is not often used today, generally we are all witches. Although witchcraft is a magical practice, you will often find that witches follow the pagan pathway, as we do at Kitchen Witch. Paganism is generally, but not always, a polytheistic religion. It means there is more than one figurehead, a goddess, of whom has many names, and a god, who also goes by many names. Personally, I think of deity as many facets to a diamond. Not all witches work with a god and goddesses. It is a very personal journey. Some may choose to just work purely with the spirit of nature. Others may choose to work with only one patron deity. Some may choose to just work with the goddess or the sky, the sun and the earth. At the end of the day, it is your journey and your personal choice. There is no right or wrong. Witchcraft, as a magical practice, can also be worked alongside many other religions. A lot of witches practice ritual observance of lunar events and the seasons. Rituals are split into two groups, Sabbats and Esbats. There are 8 Sabbats in a year, those being Yule or winter, solstice, the Imbolc, spring equinox or Ostara, Beltane, Letha or midsummer, Lughnasadh, autumn equinox or Mabon, and Samhain. Although as kitchen or hedge witches, the Sabbats are often celebrated more in line with the seasons and the weather than dates on a calendar, but more about that in the lessons. Esbats are moon rituals, celebrating the new moons and the full moons. These rituals are performed within sacred or magic circles and are used for the purpose of asking for guidance or giving thanks to the goddess and god, and are often used for the performance of magic. Some witches are members of a coven, in which there will be a high priestess and or a high priest. The other members will be witches of varying degrees of initiation. There are also many solitary witches. There are numerous traditions within the witchcraft umbrella. There are Wiccans, Dianic, kitchen witchery, green witchery, hedge witchery, Alexandrian, eclectic, fairy, Gardnerian, and Saix, to name but a few. We at Kitchen Witch are very much based in the kitchen, wild, hedge witchcraft, although most of us have had some training in Wicca. But we've also studied between us folk magic, hoodoo, and druidry, to name but a few pathways. Witches practice magic, especially magic involving herbs, stones, colours, the elements, and the energy of nature. However, we do not perform animal sacrifices. The only sacrifices made are of a spiritual nature. Magic is the use of a witch's will and energy to manipulate and alter the probability of things around them. The only tool necessary to create magic is a strong will and focused intentions. However, many witches will use a variety of tools as they feel they need to create their desired effect. Magic works in accordance with a natural law and will not create unlikely effects such as fireballs, bolts of lightning, or resurrect the dead. Well, not that we know of anyway. We are looking forward to walking this journey with you. Kitchen Witch is run by a team of English witches, best-selling author Rachel Patterson, Ness Armstrong, and Heather Dewhurst. For further investigation, there is Rachel's YouTube, and that comes under Witch Playlist. And there is a link to that in the introduction lesson. Homework. There is no homework for this as such, as it is the introduction. However, there is also a section on the online chat entitled School Hearth. Pop on over there and introduce yourself to everyone. We would love for you to email us with a brief description on what you think a witch is. Note: Kitchen Witch owns the copyright to all the lessons which may not be shared, copied, or posted elsewhere.